Hello, 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 beautiful people. Um, Welcome back. We are in on a 1.8 watts per kilo ride with a pace partner called Miguel. And yeah, if you have followed me, then you know that I just recovered from my second time with COVID, and I've been trying to take it a little bit slow for some time, hence the 1.5 watts per kilo rides I did in the last couple of days. But today I figured, why not try to jump to 1.8 and yeah, see how that goes. So this looks like part of Fuego Flats. So I'm actually, as always, haven't really paid attention to the world that we are in, or to the route that we are on. But yeah, I guess we'll discover it together. The other thing, I hope you can hear me better today. Microphone. So I hope this will increase the audio quality, which was quite bad on the previous videos. Yeah, but let's just hope it's gonna be it's gonna be okay. All right. So, as always, we'll try to keep an eye on the heart rate. We still don't want it to go very high, and very high, that's, yeah, we need to, it's pretty much undefined at the moment, but the last couple of rides I stayed below 130, and actually for the most part below 120. Today it's probably going to go up a little bit, but let's hope we don't have a runaway heart rate as I had about a week ago when I was joining a ride on the weekend that I usually do, where the pace is maybe about 2.2 watts per kilo, and after, I want to say, an hour or so, the heart rate just ran away and went out of bounds. So since we are planning this weekend to do the Cycle Nation rides again, which are 100-kilometer rides, yeah, we just want to see if the body can handle this. So we seem to be in a very big group, so let's share some love and drop some ride-ons. For those who have watched my previous videos, you know how much I like this, the social aspect of Zwift. It can certainly not replace a ride with your friends in real life, but it's a pretty close second for me. Especially since I live quite far from most of my friends, and yeah, so this is the only option I have. But yeah, not complaining, just letting you in on my situation here. Living in China is definitely has its challenges. I apologize. Yeah, for those wondering, English is definitely not my first language. Not that I needed to tell you. You probably knew after listening to me for 10 seconds or 2. Yeah, but anyways, so my apologies for those fine-tuned ears of yours that don't like hearing accents or don't like hearing imperfect English. But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't help a lot of you if I start speaking German or any other language. And even I'm not quite sure if if my German, I'm actually very sure that my German language skills deteriorated quite a bit because I haven't been living in Germany ever since 2006. And so whenever I talk with my parents or my sister or my grandma, it's more often than not that I miss a word or miss a phrase or don't know how to properly express myself. But I guess that's the way it is. Anyhow, so we are chugging along nicely here. Let's see if I can find out where we actually are. So that I can tell you guys. So far, no luck. No, it just tells me the previous rides. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Okay. But I'm pretty sure if you want to find out, it's easy for you to figure out where Miguel is today. He's actually on 2 different routes, but this is the flatter one. I think the other one was actually Mercury 40. But I figured to stay on the flats today. Yeah, mainly because I have a little bit of respect of the of long COVID and of not getting back to good health. So I don't want to take any chances. So I figured if I increase the power for today's ride, I might just stick with the flats. It's not quite pan flat, but it's pretty flat. I think we have on the whole loop we have like some 50 odd meters of vertical climbing, which is not a lot. So we settled nicely into a nice little rhythm. The cadence is still relatively low. It's better than yesterday, but it's still relatively low, simply because we are not putting a lot of watts out, and yeah, for that it feels okay to be a little bit to have a little lower cadence. But actually, you know what? I think today, time for the headband. I know it looks ridiculous, but it does really help to keep the sweat off the handlebar and the equipment. As such, it's a welcome addition to your kit. Anyways, so what should we talk about today? I'll probably just ramble on like the last couple of days. But I think in the future I will try to pick one particular topic and then take that as a jump off point and, you know, see where it takes us. So if you have any suggestions, don't be shy. Message me in the comments and let me know. I'm definitely no expert on most things, and the things I do know a little bit about, they're probably very boring for the rest of the population. But yeah, anything from, well, politics is maybe something to stay away from, because it can get quite heated very quickly if people have different opinions. And of course I consider my opinions to be very valid and the right ones, to be very valid and to be the right ones, but especially when it comes to extremes, like a lot of things that are happening at the moment that in American politics, or that are happening in Europe, with generally nationalism being on the rise. Yeah, very strong opinions about that, but yeah. Let's keep that for some other time. It's very easy to get cancelled these days, and luckily for me, this is just an outlet, biking is, to release some of the stress from the day, clear the head, and do something for your health, for your cardiovascular system, for your New Year's resolutions, stuff like that. So for me, it's not, I don't expect this channel to grow to any weird numbers or to make a living off this. It's really just to put some stuff out there. I hope some people find it interesting, or it gets them going on the bike, or, you know, they like me talking about random stuff. or they like to see people suffer, which hasn't happened yet, but certainly will as we move into racing. But for that I would definitely want to be back to 100, which I'm definitely not at the moment. But yeah, I also was planning to participate in Zwift League, but the problem there is that the team that I started, called TIGHT, T-I-G-H-T, which stands for This Is Gonna Hurt Tremendously. Yeah, it was way too late to sign up, and since the team has essentially just started, there are no members yet. But of course I hope that the one or the other will join us on Zwift, will join us on Strava, and yeah, if we have enough people, then of course we want to do social rides, we want to do races, want to participate in other races, maybe in the league, design our own kit, and yeah, if possible at all, then of course also meet in real life. Yeah, and the main thing for the club is to just have fun, but we are planning on accommodating everyone who wants to join. So if you have ambitions with regards to biking in general, getting better, moving through the ranks, I see our club equally as valid for you, or equally as good an option for you as if you're only interested in the social aspect or joining us on some longer rides on the weekend. Yeah, I do about well, I did before Christmas about 1,600 kilometers, about 1,600 kilometers per month. That's about 1,000 miles, and that's probably what I will try to stick to. The goal for this year is to be north of 15,000 kilometers. We'll see if that works. Sorry. Quite hopeful, but yeah, you never know. There comes the, getting a cold, or God forbid, COVID again, or having some sort of injury, or being so busy at work that it doesn't allow for you to be on the bike. There are many different reasons why people where people cannot train as much as they would like to. Sorry, I got distracted for a second because I saw a rider. He or she must be slightly ahead of us now, with the Ukrainian flag and the name "Stop This War." I couldn't agree more, and certainly hope that this will happen very soon. Whatever your ideas are, or whatever your political affiliation, I hope that we can at least agree on some fundamentals like war's bad. Here, M. Dot, stop this war. Well done. I completely agree. If I could give you a little shoulder clap, I would. So well done. Yeah, so I hope that there are some fundamental things that should supersede political affiliation or whatever you think to know about different race, a different country, your neighbor. Yeah, and that war is bad. I think that should be definitely something that we can all agree on. So, oh, look at that. Already 12.5K in. 21 minutes, almost 22. Doing all right. Heart rate is exactly where it should be. Bang on in zone 2. Nothing to worry about at the moment. So, yep, very happy. Happy times. So let's see what we are averaging here in power. 137. If you remember, the last couple of days when we were doing the 1.5 watts per kilo, right, with Bernie, we were pretty much bang on the money with 120 watts. At my weight of 79 kilos at the moment, that's pretty much 1.5, and yeah, here it's pretty much 1.8. So yeah, one of the things that work really nicely on Zwift, and especially if you have such a big group, the amount of work that you have to put in order to get going and make some distance is relatively small, definitely much smaller than if you're riding by yourself. I just realized that I didn't set my bike up such that it adjusts its incline when climbing or descending. So I changed that now. It's a very nice feature on the Wahoo Kicker bike that, yeah, I really came to love. I have my difficulty at the moment set to, I want to say, somewhere around 30-35%. Yeah, simply because there's no benefits when just like biking normally. But later this year I'm planning on doing a virtual Everesting, and for that I will definitely put it up to 100%, simply because then and only then it counts for the official Everesting website. And if I do this effort, then I definitely want to make it such that it will be I can get this credit and be mentioned on that website. Yeah, there are a lot of things that I think bikers have on their bucket list. Everesting is probably one of those things. Alpe d'Huez, or in our case here on Zwift, Alpe to Zwift, doing that under an hour is probably another one. Doing a century, meaning 100k, or an imperial century, meaning 161 kilometers or 100 miles, is probably another one that people would mention when it comes to bucket list rides. Yeah, the last two, the centuries, metric and imperial, I did, and so the plan for this year is to go as far as 500k in one ride. That won't happen until Q3 or Q4, but at least it's on the list, and hopefully we'll be able to do it. This will definitely be a video that I will do a time lapse on, because I'm pretty sure nobody wants to see 500k is probably going to be, I don't know, 15 hours or something like this. Yeah, nobody wants to see that. At least not without a sped up video. But the more immediate goal is to have one ride with 333k. And yeah, we definitely have to get back to 100%, and then I think I will continue with my 100k 100-mile rides on the weekend, and one of those weekends I will just feel that this is the day, and then I will get up early and probably get on the bike at 6, prepare everything, drinks, food, shirts to change into, bib shorts to change into, and then just hope to get going, and hopefully like 9-10 hours later be done with that. And I have a suspicion that this might happen in Q1 of this year, but there's no pressure, so I'll just see how I feel, how I progress with recovery, and we'll go from there. Yeah, today I'm planning on doing at least 50k, but yeah, it also depends a little bit on what the heart rate says. Like when we're, let's say, in for like an hour, see how it develops. If it stays low, then yeah, maybe 50, 60, maybe a little bit more K. And then tomorrow there will be a little bit of a rest day. Took the afternoon off from work and we'll just take it slow. I also have quite a sleep deficit that I hope to catch up with tomorrow afternoon. And I will probably have like a little 30-45 minute spin just for recovery purposes. Shake out the legs, get the lactate out. If there's even a build-up, I don't think at at this power, at this pace, at this cadence, that I will feel anything tomorrow, but who knows. So we've been here before, I remember that. So meaning we must be nearing sorry, we must be nearing our completing one loop, and you can tell by our multiplier that we have been on the bike for half an hour, because the multiplier went to 2.5, which is a nice little benefit to accumulate drops, but I actually wouldn't know what people would use that for. Well, of course you can buy bikes, but as I mentioned before, if you are listening to Zwift Insider, you will briefly find that, or you will quickly find that there are not a lot of must-buy items in the garage, and even with small amounts of drops you can get really good equipment that will take you around those courses in very good time. I'm at level 26, which is the level where a TT bike is released from Canyon that I will definitely buy. By the way, if you just paid attention, the rider with the green beacon, I think that's a B-Cat. So while we are doing about 1.8 watts per kilo, I think they are doing about 3, which is quite a big difference. And of course one day I hope to be like a solid B-Cat rider. I started my Zwift career in D simply because I figured it is nice to start from the bottom and actually make a way through the ranks, and this is what I decided to do. And that worked quite nicely. So I participated in some races, and I was in relatively quickly I could win some of those races, or at least get on the podium. And then late last year I tried my luck in the C category, at least for some short races. And there were not that many people, but I again came onto the podium, which was quite nice. And then the last race I did last year, in C, I actually won my category, which was also really nice because I really paid attention to where the other C-Cat riders were, and there were 3 hanging on with the A and B-Cat riders, and I was able to to parry each move, or to go with them. And with time the first rider then dropped out, and then the second rider dropped out, and so then I was having only the A and B cat riders in front of me. And so I stuck around with them for a little while, and then saw that there was no challenge from the other CCAT riders, and so I let my group go because I was already quite cooked. And yeah, and then was able to win my CCAT. So I will definitely stick around in C category, because I wouldn't consider myself someone who can just willy-nilly win those CCAT races. So I'll do probably another 3-4 months in CCAT, and if I then feel confident enough that I can actually ride in BCAT without getting dropped too many times, and yeah, actually also enjoy the riding there, then I'll move up to B. And hopefully before the end of the year I'll be able to stay in that group and be kind of established in that, on that BCAT level. And then the goal is to get into the top 10 or 15% of the races, and maybe medal in some of those. So that's my goal for this year. Yeah, and for that, of course, it requires to be on the bike quite regularly, even have a training plan ideally, which I have a friend who's a cycling coach, and he already offered that I can pick his brain for some guidance on how to train properly. But if you believe Teddy Boccaccia's coach, then you will know that about 80% of your rides should be zone 2 rides, to just have the baseline a baseline endurance, and from there develop some punchy things with interval training or threshold training. So, and I think this is what I will do, because I also do like the idea of going on long tedious rides, which essentially zone 2 is. If you can stay in this zone, then you can essentially do this ride for as long as you want without ever getting really fatigued, and that might come in handy later this year when trying to do the 333 kilometer ride, and then even later the 500 kilometer ride. Of course, what would also be nice is if zone 2 changes a little and goes to higher power. So we're doing again 1.8 watts per kilo, and we are in zone 2. So if we are able to hold this, then the average speed will take us to our final goal of, let's take 333 kilometers, a little bit quicker on those long rides. It easily makes a difference of half an hour or an hour or even more. So trying to improve, get the numbers up. Yeah, 138 watts, just a little shy of 1.8 watts per kilo. But again, this is not a race, this is simply to do base cardio. Yeah, I apologize for constantly clearing my throat, but I think that's a leftover from COVID, where you constantly feel as if you need to cough or you have something tickling in your throat. I know it's annoying, but yeah, there's very little I can do right now. Oh, 25k is done. Great. So we at least have half of what we set out to do today. Just trying to speed up a little bit to get near yellow or a little bit ahead of yellow. Makes it easier if you don't pay attention for a second, you don't lose contact to the group. And as I mentioned before, once you have reached the multiplier of 2.5, you want to keep it like this, because if you lose contact to the group or you're out of range of the yellow beacon, after some time, I want to say it's like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you will drop back down to 1, and then you have to start again, and it will take you half an hour to get back to 2.5. Just another little incentive for you to stick around with the group. I wish they had that for XP points, because yeah, it's quite hard to get to the next level. I actually looked it up today, and if I'm lucky, I will be able to reach level 50 by the end of the year. If it was just for distance, I think it's about 20,000 I calculated that I need, which is quite a bit, 20,000 kilometers. And although that would be a nice achievement, I'm aiming for 15, hoping for 17k, but that's probably it for this year. So anything higher than this would be very unexpected, very nice, but very unexpected, which means that I'll be still a couple of kilometers short, actually 2,000-3,000 kilometers short of reaching level 50. But there are ways to increase your you collecting XP points. So one is for each route that you have not been on. The first time you finish a route, you're actually getting a route badge, and that comes with XP points. So since one of the other goals this year is to finish all the rides that are offered on Zwift, I hope that this will subsidize my XP account and actually get me to level 50 this year. And why level 50, you ask? Because I think this releases the coolest kit that you have on Zwift, which is fire socks. So I actually don't know if it's based on power in watts per kilo or pure power, but maybe we'll see it later today. If there's a sprint or somebody is flying by at a high speed and has those socks on, then there's actually, they will leave like burn marks on the asphalt, which just looks very cool. So yeah, this is what I hope to get before the end of the year. And the XP points that you're collecting is you can either get them through distance, kilometers. As you can see, my account is set to kilometers, which means that every 1 kilometer I get 20 XP points. If your account is set to miles, then it's 30 XP points per mile. But you accumulate points faster if your account is set to kilometers. And simply due to the fact that miles is 1.6 kilometers and not 1.5. If it was 1.5, it would be the same. But since it's not, you have a slight benefit by using metric over imperial. And of course, as a German, I would advise you use metric anyways. But that's a different story. Anyhow, so there are some very, very long rides, very difficult rides, like the Uber Pretzel. I think it's about 130 kilometers with, I want to say 2,000 vertical meters. And I think this will give you 1,700 XP points, which is pretty nice. So 1,700 is essentially the equivalent of biking 85 kilometers, right? So And while you're riding, you're still collecting the kilometer XP. It's just an added bonus. So anyways, so I hope that this will bring me up to the magic level 50, but if not, then it might be Q1 2024. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. Yeah, if you feel like sharing what your New Year's resolutions are, please do so in the comments below. Most of my New Year's resolutions are based on biking, personal best distance, climbing Alpe d'Huez in less than an hour, virtual Everesting, but there are also some seeing the family in Germany again, seeing my parents, my sister and her family. Yeah. There are also some work related New Year's resolutions. Well, if you want to know more, you can let me know in the comments, and then maybe one day I will share. Generally, more sports, losing weight, eating healthier, being happy, cooking more. I really do like cooking and baking, so do more of that. Yeah. Alright, so I see that yellow is quite far ahead of me, so I didn't really pay attention. So now let's make one quick effort to try to get ahead of yellow. So let's see what the power says when we do that. Oh, 4.7 watts, 4. Heart rate going up to 130 or close to 130. No, here we go. Huh? Oh, maybe that's a different group, because oh yeah, there was a yellow beacon ahead of me, which I thought was my pace partner, but actually Miguel is behind us. So I guess we'll wait for him, because I'm pretty sure that the yellow pace partner here will go on a different route. Sometimes they overlap, but yeah, they will probably go on a different route. We'll probably split at some point, and then it's just important to stick with the pace partner you had in the beginning, because otherwise, again, you would lose that multiplier. Yeah, so I did a little bit of testing, like just maybe 5 or 10 minutes, to see if the microphone works. It seems to, but I really hope that there are no big surprises when I'm done with biking, looking at the video and seeing there's no audio, or it cut out or whatever. So I hope you can hear me right. Yeah, it just arrived today, and I desperately wanted to use it and see if this makes any difference. And from the short testing I did, it actually made a huge difference. And then first I tried to put the microphone on the laptop, but yeah, I think it was a little bit too far. and I don't want to yell, so I figured maybe I just pop it on my collar or on my jersey and see if this is better. So yeah, this is a very cheap option, which is plug-in. So it has a cable, it's a very long cable, but it's still cable, which means there's always something to worry about, that you rip it out of the socket, or that the cable gets gets like see, now I'm in English not knowing which words to use, but so that the cable is locking up is definitely the wrong word, but yeah, that it gets twisted with something else. And yeah, but it was the quickest I could do, and if it's better than what I had before, why not? And this was recommended to me by Ira. She is a fantastic yoga teacher out of Beijing, and yeah, I will leave a link to her YouTube channel in the description later. Check her out. She's really amazing. She's yeah, fully licensed. She's offering very different types of yoga and group classes, private classes. Yeah, very experienced. Learned lots and lots of yoga, from extended travels to actually India, to Mysore and other places that are considered birthplace of yoga. And yeah, she's very familiar with all the different styles. Please check her out, but I think at the moment she focuses on vinyasa, kundalini, and supplements that with lots of different meditation, breathing techniques, deep stretches. So highly recommend her. Very affordable too. And she puts some or lots of her content also online, which is even easier for you to review or to have a look at if you like it, and then reach out to her. She again offers everything from private classes, private individual one-on-one classes through Zoom or in person if you are in Beijing. She does group yoga. She does corporate yoga. Don't want to take away who she is doing yoga with, but yeah, embassies and companies. So highly recommend her. Check her out. All right, back to yoga. Well, okay, then I guess if this was a Freudian slip, then we should stick a little with yoga. And yeah, I really do enjoy yoga as well. There was a time when I was doing it quite regularly, but then there's always something that pulls you in a different direction, and then yeah, for whatever reason one stops, and then it feels hard to get back into that. And that's where I am right now. But luckily there's such thing as New Year's resolutions, and that's definitely one thing that I want to take a little bit more serious again, and to progress there as well, because it's great in combination with biking. So whatever you do for your cardiovascular system, for your muscles getting stronger, you can always benefit from treating your muscles right, doing those warm-up stretches to keep your muscles smooth and healthy. I also do yoga nidra that I actually do I think more than 50% of the days to fall asleep and to have a restful night. I used to do meditations, 1 per day, and that was beside yoga nidra. And the technique that I was taught, that I learned, is called Sahash meditation, and it was an absolute life changer. I learned that, I want to say, how many years is that back? 10, 13, 14 years? Maybe 15. Yeah, when I was in the US, must have been, maybe 2007. Yeah, that was a course offered through Art of Living. If you have never heard of Art of Living, I highly recommend you check that out too. It's a fantastic way of going through life. I don't want to take too much away, and I don't want to tell you too much about it, because I wasn't told essentially anything about this before. And I absolutely fell in love. It's a great mix between yoga, meditation, breathing techniques are on the forefront of their technical or their techniques that they are using. So highly recommended. The good thing is that you actually get tools that you can implement in your daily routine, in your daily life, that will make a difference in your life. I promise you. If you take it somewhat serious, I promise you, you will benefit quite significantly. And as you can tell, the way I praise it, I spread the love, and I gave it as a present to other people, and everybody who wanted to hear about it or didn't got an earful. And although I still consider this to be one of the coolest and most beneficial things I ever did for myself, for my mental health, for my physical health, it's like with most things, it like stopped at some point, and and then you maybe cherry pick only a couple of things, like in my case the meditation, that you then do continue with, but the full benefit of the whole technique, or of the whole way of looking at life, is definitely more than just meditation. So and they have worldwide in-person classes. I'm not sure if they also do have online classes, but if you have a chance to participate in any of these, do yourself a favor, participate, and thank me later. And you can always thank me by either subscribing or leaving a comment, and turn on notifications if you if you want, then you won't miss any new videos that I'm posting. And I promise the videos are gonna be better in quality and also better in what we will be doing, because yeah, those rides, they're nice, but they're essentially uneventful. It's just an old bald guy ranting while biking and sweating. So I'm sure it's going to be more exciting when there are races, or when there's some commenting going on races, or yeah, maybe some tricks on how to I don't know, go about the Zwift, or a time trial, or any race, or recovery rides, or. So again, I'm still in the very beginning of this YouTube journey, and I'm sure it's gonna get better. But I haven't been doing this for even a week yet, so please forgive me if this is not as polished or anywhere near as nice as some of the other guys out there. But I'll definitely try to get better and provide some insights, some commentary, some opinion, some podcast-like chats, stuff like that. So I hope you'll enjoy that. Alright, actually, I'm quite pleased to see that the heart rate is still below 130, which is fantastic. And it's also shown in our app that I'm using a Garmin watch, the Epix 2nd generation. Absolutely happy with that. I always had a Phoenix, so I had a Phoenix 2, then a Phoenix 3, and then I had that for a very long time. And although it was still working, it felt like there came a time when I was like, okay, it's maybe time for an upgrade. And then I was considering getting the Phoenix 7, that was the latest version, or look at something else. And then the only two other watches that piqued my interest were the Epix and I think the Mark, MARQ. And yeah, I don't even remember why I chose the Epix. I think it had some benefits over the Phoenix by having a better screen. And I think the Mark was maybe like the posh version of the watch that had, I don't know, like a metal wristband and stuff like that. And I didn't want that. I just wanted a very simple black watch, nothing special, nothing to look at. And so I got the Epix in black with the diamond-like coating, and you can see I'm probably shaking too much, but I have a couple of data screens that are custom made for biking. The one that you saw right now will give you the times for this particular exercise and the times in which zone you have been, or for how long you have been in each of those zones. And so The majority we spent in zone 1 and 2, more zone 2 than zone 1, which is great. And then just a minute and a half in zone 3 was probably when we tried to catch up with Miguel, or when we had like a small little sprinting effort. And weirdly enough, it also says that we have been briefly in zones 4, 5 and 6. I don't remember that, but yeah, maybe this is a glitch for sometimes when the heart rate is oh sorry, this is I was on watts, I apologize. So this was the power zones. Yeah, that actually makes more sense, because with those sprint levels we've been briefly in zone 5 and 6, I guess. So now we are on heart rate and the heart rate zone. We have spent essentially 1 hour and 5 minutes in zone 2, 5 minutes in zone 1, and yeah, about 9 seconds in zone 3, which actually makes more sense. So no glitch here. Everything seems to be in order. So I don't know why I was thinking that something was off. I should have known how to trust the Garmin watch. Yeah, when we were just drinking, we were briefly again in zone 3, which is just because we don't, while drinking, we don't take on oxygen, because we are occupied with drinking, and then the heart rate will go up, trying to utilize any of the oxygen that is already in the blood or that was still lingering around in the lungs, as there's nothing else coming while drinking. But anyway, so now we're back to zone 2. Barely, but still zone 2. So I'll probably do a little bit of a sprint effort in a couple of seconds, just to catch up with yellow and go ahead of yellow. So let's see what the wattage says. 208, 9, 3, 1. So you can see, oh, somebody was really fast passing us by. Yeah, sometimes it feels incredible for how quick people can be on Zwift, particularly in races, when you realize how little you know, or how bad you actually are, seeing how people are flying by as if you are standing. But yeah, that's normal. So let's deploy our PU, or power up, which is a drafting boost, depicted by this little truck or this van in the upper left corner. Because we are getting a new one when we are passing this arch here, and we timed it pretty well. So let's see what we get. I say feather. Ooh, close but no. Okay, we get the van again. So another added draft when we need it, which is really nice. Yeah, I apologize for wearing non-black bib shorts. I know there's if you're watching GCN, a YouTube channel I highly recommend you watch. Very, very fun presenters, very knowledgeable, addressing everything around biking, road biking that is. And in one of their latest episodes they were discussing things that people might find controversial, and Ollie, one of the presenters, said bib shorts should just be black, and I actually agree, but I saw those online. They're actually a light gray, as you can probably not tell right now because now they are very sweaty and dark gray. But near the knee, they're still having the light gray color. And it's a very nice color. And I was just hoping that maybe the material would be a little bit thicker or less see-through. But it's a little dodgy to say the least. But that's why I'm wearing those at home. Or I decided to just wear them at home, not really knowing when I bought them that I will start recording some of my rides or most of my rides. So I guess now you have the pleasure of looking at non-black bib shorts. Okay, we must have not paid any attention because somehow yellow is again ahead of us. Although I could have sworn that I went past yellow, but yeah. All right, let's see. So we have 46k in. And it's 7:30, so I think we can maybe do another, let's at least have as a minimum 53 kilometers. For those who watched my previous episodes, you probably know that I try to finish on a prime number, or if for whatever reason that's not possible, then at least on a number where the sum of the digits is prime. And that, along with trying to finish after a descent, so you can actually use that time to already cool down. And the descent is usually 3 kilometers, because there's very little effort you need to put in order to accumulate some more drops and some more XP. So yeah. So now we are ahead of Miguel, so let's try to keep it this way, and then let's try to bring the heart rate below 130 and keep it there. Again, I highly encourage you to spread the love with some ride-ons, and for that it's much easier if you're using the Zwift companion app. Then you essentially just tap on the screen, and then I think it's 5 people, the closest 5 people that haven't received a ride-on from you in a long time, they will receive one. And you can do, I think, one every maybe 10 seconds. So if you remember, just hit the screen and make people happy. They should probably be happy because they are biking, but maybe you can still brighten their day a little bit more. Yeah, that's one of the things that they teach you in Art of Living, to do at least one good selfless act per day. And it can be something very, very small. It doesn't have to be a big gesture or, $100 donation, or it can be, I don't know, saying good morning to someone that you had a quarrel with in the past, holding the door for someone, calling someone that you haven't talked with in a while, make amends with people you have not been in contact with, or who have wronged you, or maybe people you have wronged. Apologize. Yeah, there are many things that you can do to brighten one's day. Yeah, that's generally, it's a good idea to be nice to people. Although I completely agree that some of them don't deserve it, but it also doesn't help you to hold a grudge. It will only make you maybe a little bit bitter, unhappy. And if it's not the most important thing, then it's least up there. Your mind is one of the most precious things, or probably the most precious thing you have. And keeping your brain and your mind happy is worth a lot. And getting some negativity out and fill it with some happiness, some good thoughts, some structure, some exercise goes a long way. Anyways, I'm no guru, I'm no teacher of any of those movements, but yeah, I highly recommend you check them out and do what makes you happy. Find something that makes you happy, lets you excel, because it has a lot of positive benefits in other parts of your life. Maybe as a little side story, when I was in the US, I had some back problems, so I played badminton, which is notoriously bad for your ligaments and your joints and your lower back. And although I played on a relatively high level, when I stopped playing competitively, then I essentially just went to badminton and, didn't warm up properly, just played. And of course that's not good. And so I started having some problems with my back. And I knew that a co-worker of mine was what I thought into yoga. Indian American, really nice guy. His name is Ram. And so I asked him, hey, do you have anything? Are you part of a yoga club? Or he said, well, I'm not going to tell you much what it is, but I highly recommend you come by. And I made a joke saying, look man, if you guys start hugging trees, I'm out of there. He's like, no, just have an open mind and come. And that turned out to be one of the best decisions I've made. And yeah, this was how I found, or how I was introduced to Art of Living. And I went through a couple of their steps. They have a first level where you essentially get taught breathing techniques and the daily routine. That was very helpful. And then the next, it's not really a level, but the next step would then be where you go on a kind of a retreat. And that was one of the coolest, best things I've ever did. It was, I think, a 5 or 6 day retreat. Lots of meditation, lots of yoga, lots of knowledge that was passed. It was fantastic. I don't want to give more details, so go and check it out. And then I was really absorbing the culture and saw the benefits, and then took on this meditation course, Sahaj meditation, that was taught by a teacher, an American lady in Silicon Valley. And so she asked me, why? What do you want to use that for? And I was saying that I want to be able to focus. I want to be able to keep attention, to absorb things easier when I read them. At this time I was doing my PhD, and there was lots of work that needed to be done, lots of papers to be read, a lot of information that I needed to absorb. Long hours in front of the computer, analyzing data. And so I thought that would be very beneficial. And it was. So I was given a mantra that belongs to me. And so I started meditating on a regular basis, and I saw huge benefits in my attention span expanding, me being able to understand new concepts, new ways of looking at data in a relatively short amount of time. And if this wasn't enough, I do play chess, and I used to play quite a bit over the board, and I saw that within I want to say less than half a year, my rating, so in chess there's a rating called ELO rating, and that essentially gives an indication about the strength of you and your opponent. And I saw about a more than 100 ELO point increase in a very short amount of time. And it was not that I studied more chess, or it was just the ability to keep focus for a long time. And yeah, so I saw huge benefits. Anyways, so if this sounds good to you, check it out. Check out Art of Living. They originated from India. So the teacher, the guru, he's Indian, Sri Ravi Shankar. But they have lots of centers and trainings, in-person trainings in the US, in Europe, and even here in China. I'm part of a group on WeChat, which is their equivalent of WhatsApp, where they have get-togethers, group meditations, teachings. Yeah, check it out. I really can't recommend it enough. And if you do have any questions, not that I will be able to answer any technical or teaching related questions, but I at least can point you in the direction where or who you can ask, or where you can get some more information. But yeah, for me, it was definitely one of the best things I've ever did. Anyhow, all right, that was quite a detour. I hope you're still awake, and yeah, didn't fall off your bike or from wherever you're watching this. Or maybe you just use it as a sleeping agent. That's fine with me. Whatever purpose you have, or whatever thing you hope this video does, if it does exactly what you want it to do, then I'm very happy. So, see, before I knew it, we passed 55 kilometers, which is also nice. So, and it's 1.5 hours. So, what is that? Let's say 53 kilometers in 1.5 hours. So, an average of 34-ish kilometers an hour. Yeah, that's nice. At the other group ride, we were doing 1.5 watts per kilo. It was below 30, which was also because I chose a route that was more hilly. But yeah, at least this way we get a little bit more kilometers under our belt. Okay, still trying to stay ahead of Miguel, who's catching up with us. I'm also quite pleased with our heart rate still being below 130. So yeah, now it's almost evenly split between zone 1 and zone 2 in power, and in heart rate, yeah, it's essentially still 5 minutes 11 seconds in zone 1, 1 hour and almost 27 minutes in zone 2 and 3.5 minutes in zone 3. Yeah, unfortunately today we didn't earn a route badge because we've completed that route before. So yeah, Miguel is only on 2 different routes today, and then know that the other one, which is the Mercury 40, that we already finished this one. So here I wasn't sure, but since we didn't see a route badge appearing after going through the start-finish arch, we know that we already had that. I also recently saw one of my South African friends that I see on those Cycle Nation rides. He was posting some results on Strava from the race league, and so I was reaching out to him and asking how one can get involved, and then he put me in contact with his race leader, I guess, or with the guy who is responsible for the team that he's racing for. And yeah, very, very friendly. And for me it was really just to know how one would go about it, because at the moment I'm very comfortable in zone 2 and don't really want to get anywhere near threshold or beyond. And yeah, the team coordinator just wrote me and said, yeah, okay, can you participate in the team trial on Saturday? And I said, no, I'm really sorry, but yeah, still recovering, and I think that would be very unwise for me to push a little too early. But it seems like they have a lot of teams, and I hope that I'll be able to find a home in one of those teams when I'm back to 100. So yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, let's mix it up and go for gray. I'm actually planning on those being the team colors of Team Tight, or Tight Racing, or Tight Cycling, which again stands for "This is gonna hurt tremendously." Yeah, black and gray. You can see on Zwift, or on Zwift Power, you can see like the little badge that is in the team colors, black and gray. And at the moment I'm actually looking to make a logo, and later this year I'm planning on actually getting some jerseys made just for fun. So we'll see how that goes. And again, we saw the heart rate go up to 144 while drinking. And now slowly coming back down. And we are back in zone 2, which our upper limit for zone 2 is 132 beats per minute. And that is for the zone is between 60 and 70% of your max heart rate, which I took from badminton about half a year ago. I had I think a 188 or 187, and I think I now set on Garmin, I set my max heart rate to 185 because so far the max I did in biking was 180, if I remember correctly, at least in the last 4 months. And yeah. Alright, here's the final sprint again, which means that we will deploy our PU, because we are getting a new one when going through the arch. You can also see the Ghost Rider 2 seconds ahead of us. That's us some time ago when we did a personal best on this sprint. But yeah, today we are not planning on participating in any sprint. We are just very happy to bike along, tick off some kilometers, and yeah. Very consistent to what we did before. Almost the same time, just shy of 50 seconds. But again, there was no sprinting. It was essentially just rolling with the peloton. All right. Yeah, I think I will stop at 67k. This should also, 67 is 6 kilometers from now. So maybe 11 minutes from now. So we stay below 2 hours, which is nice. And 11 minutes is, it's 10 past 8 local time. Perfect to go take a shower and go to bed. So on the right hand side we can now have a look how many people are there. Oh, there's another Danish rider who bored 135 kilometers. Well done. Well done. Yeah. Whenever you reach something like 40, 50, 60 kilometers, the chances are quite high that you are the rider with the most distance, because a lot of people just take those pace partner rides to warm up before a race or before some other group ride. And yeah, but not today. So we are having 62.6 kilometers so far, which has been dwarfed by the Danish riders 135 and counting. Oh, another German guy, almost the same as us, 67.8. Very nice. So you see, there's a lot of different riders, very different distances. And the good thing is, you never know. It might be, you know, a housewife trying to, you know, take a spin in between, you know, caring for the kids and, I don't know, doing other things. I don't want to say like cleaning or cooking, because that could be seen as a macho statement, which I'm definitely not. But yeah, probably has some, if you're a housewife, you probably have some other responsibilities, and maybe taking a quick break from that and yeah, going for a spin. It could be some people on their lunch break just trying to get 45 to 60 minutes of workout in. I've seen some professional riders taking this as a recovery ride, or if they haven't been on this route yet, to try to see if there's a race coming up on that very particular section, to see if they can study the course, plan their plan their attacks and plan their ride. Yeah, that's really fun to think about that. There are other people all over the world who are at home or in the gym or in the office biking, and they meet here in this virtual world where everybody is the same status, education, ethnic background, religious beliefs, sexual orientation. Nothing matters. Everybody is just here to have a ride, exercise, do something good for themselves. Absolutely love that. I also had some the friend that I was mentioning earlier, who's a coach for biking. He's in Germany, and we had a bike ride scheduled here on Zwift, and it was just so insane knowing that he is in the south of Germany on his bike. We communicate through, WhatsApp or Telegram or by phone, and we see each other on the road, bike together. That's just very, very cool. Although I have to say that when riding with him, after about 15 minutes, I get very quiet while he gets more and more talkative, and I will just give him one-syllable answers because he's just so much better and faster than me. But all part of the fun. All right. So I think this is a good time to start winding down. 1.5 kilometers to go to our goal of 67. So I'll probably let the group go, and then you'll also be able to tell how long it takes for you to lose those points. So we just need to pay attention when we get a warning on the screen saying please catch up with Miguel. So let's see when that happens. So the bigger the group, the bigger the range. So see, we are 40 meters away from him, and it was, I think, at like 42 seconds, 1 hour 52:42. So now we are out of the range, and now I guess it was maybe at 46 seconds or so, and then you will see when the multiplier of 2.5 actually collapses and disappears. Gone. So I reckon this is about 30 seconds after you are out of the group or out of the range, which should be enough time to catch back up if you really want to. But we are done for today, and we don't want to, and we just want to slow down, see that we get the heart rate back down to sub 120, and then get off the bike and enjoy the rest of the evening before we're going to take a shower, a nice and long and hot one. Whew. Yeah, that was very successful. Very happy with the way it went. I was a little nervous because my watch was still telling me, you're not doing so well. We suggest you rest a little. And often I listen to the watch if it says, hey, like your recovery is not there yet, or you slept badly. And that usually aligns quite well with how I feel. But I don't know, today I felt this might be okay. So if I felt that there was something bad going on, I would have probably not been on the bike. But yeah, I think it's okay. So let's see. So I will start saying goodbye. I just try to keep an eye out on the time so I can stop the timer. And we also reached 67 now. So I'll just say goodbye. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, right on. And have a good rest of your day. And hope to see you soon. Bye bye.